All right, next we are going to account for our foundation anchors. We need to make sure that in these walls we have anchors that will hold down the wood superstructure of our garage. You'll see these listed MAB15. That's a mud sill anchor abbreviation. That's what you can find oftentimes in catalogs. For example, sometimes we use Fingerly catalog, and we're still in business. So the code requirement for these foundation anchors is that they've got to occur every 6 feet. So they cannot be further apart than 6 feet. So we want to make sure that we identify the number of anchors that we need. To do that, we can use this equation. The number of anchors is going to equal the length of the wall minus large openings divided by 6. So we'll do that first, and that's the first thing you'll do. And you should have that number already. That's going to be the linear foot of block under the wall. And in this case, we subtracted a large opening. So the nice thing is once you find the linear feet of concrete block required, we can use that linear foot number, and then we're simply going to divide that linear foot number by 6. So that's the first step in the process, and that we've got a bracket on that one. The next piece we have to do is we've got to count the number of corners and openings, right? Because we have to add anchors at those locations. So a lot of times what we'll do is, or I will on a plan, is just take a second and identify corners. There, I can circle those. There's a corner, there's a corner, there's a corner, there's a corner. We've got to make sure we have anchors on each side of those plates. And then we also have to double up our anchors where we have an opening. So we'll have openings there and there. We don't have to worry about our windows. And in this case, we have no intersecting walls. So corners and openings, we'll do that for you. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6. So we need 2 bolts at each opening. So 2 times the 6 openings. Once we add those together, we'll get our total number of mud sill anchors. Now, the other thing we want to do is we want to add 5% for extras. There will be places in this where we'll have seams in our plates, and we'll be required to have an additional anchor at those locations. This 5% will help us take advantage of that. So once we have our total, we multiply our total times 1.05. And that 1.05 basically just adds 5%. And once you find those numbers, you can add each the number of bolts into our line items on the left side. And then we will go ahead and pull our labor price from the textbook. So we're going to go ahead and use anchor bolts in this case. Straps are sometimes a little bit squirrely. We're going to go ahead and use anchor bolts in the concrete this time. And we're going to just go with a 5/8 inch bolt. So a 5/8 inch bolt, labor per bolt is going to be considered $5.12 per bolt. So we'll add the $5.12 per bolt. And in this case, I'm going to let you go ahead and do a quick search and find a price. And those are going to be 5/8 inch bolts.